You're probably wanting to know how you can stand out in 2026. You see, most people enter this year as a small business owner trying to be better trained, better marketed, better prepared, better at explaining why they should be chosen. And it's a logical move. Improvement feels like a path to success, and comparison seems unavoidable. But when you look closely at the professionals who are consistently successful, especially those who build their businesses by referral, you start to notice something interesting. They aren't obsessed with being better. In fact, they're focused on being different. Not louder, not flashier, just genuinely distinct in how they operate and how they make people feel. Now, as we move more into 2026, that distinction matters because better now lives in a crowded, competitive space, while different lives in its own lane. Let's talk for a minute about why better stops working. You see, trying to be better puts you into comparison mode. It assumes that clients are sitting down, analyzing options, and choosing the most impressive resume. In reality, that's not how it works. That's not how decisions are made, right? Especially referral-based ones. You see, when someone is referred or recommended to you, they're not looking to evaluate. They're looking to feel confident that they've been given a safe choice. Better requires proof. Different requires clarity. You see, Scott McKain says it simply. He says, it's better to be different than it is to be better. The reason that idea holds so much weight is because difference doesn't demand justification. It doesn't ask someone to weigh you against 3 other professionals. In fact, it allows them to recognize something that feels distinct and trust it without needing to overthink it. Now, from a client's perspective, most professionals feel interchangeable. The process feels the same. The conversations sound familiar. The promises are nearly identical. Even when the brand looks polished, the experience itself blends in. Now, the real difference shows up in how someone operates, not how they present. So if being different is the key, let's talk about where real differentiation comes from. You see, for the most trusted professionals, differentiation comes from collaboration, not as a talking point, but as a way of working. Instead of positioning themselves as the expert who handles everything, they operate as the connector who knows exactly who to involve at the right time. That approach actually changes the emotional dynamic of the relationship. Clients don't feel like they're relying on one person to get everything right. In fact, they feel supported instead by a network, even if they never meet most of the people in it. Now, there's a sense of depth, preparation, and even safety that's difficult to articulate, but it's easy to feel when you're on the other side of that. Now, that feeling is what gets talked about when you're not in the room. All right, let's talk about how this shows up in real life. You see, when a collaborative professional walks into an appointment with a prospective client, they become very aware that what they're doing to serve that client isn't the only thing that's going to be needed, that there's going to be another professional that's going to come along that's going to solve the next problem. And the more that they identify what that client is going to need beyond just their service and preempt and prepare the ground, if you will, for that next professional and even recommend the next professional, that client gets locked in saying, this professional has my back entirely. And they end up winning the trust of that person because they're not just focused on solving one problem against other people who solve one problem. They're really focused on solving a whole myriad of problems, which makes them very, very different. The client senses this immediately. What they're responding to is confidence. It's coverage. They don't feel like they're hiring just one professional. They feel like they're stepping into an entire ecosystem that's worked together and is going to take care of them. Now, why this matters in 2026? You see, as technology continues to flatten the industry, information and execution will become increasingly commoditized. Everyone's going to have it. Now, what won't be commoditized is trust. And trust is rarely built through claims of excellence. It's built through consistency, connection, and the confidence that comes from knowing the right people are already in place. Referral-based businesses grow when people feel safe passing your name along. That safety does not come from believing you're the best. It comes from believing that you're different in a way that protects the people that they care about. So as you think about how to differentiate yourself in 2026, don't ask how you can be better. Ask how you can be more connected, because what actually sets you apart is not your individual skill. It's the people you bring with you. You see, when you collaborate well, you stop showing up as a single professional and start showing up as a network. And that changes how clients experience you. It creates confidence, it creates trust, and it gives people something meaningful to refer. In a crowded industry, being just better gets you competing, whereas being collaborative makes you different and sets you apart.